Amy.
Hi, Taylor.
Welcome to
Much Ado About Some Shit.
Where every week, Ramy tries to talk me into watching garbage television by walking me through a season or episodes or whatever of a thing. What are we doing, Ramy?
We're gonna do the first half of season 6 of Selling Sunset, baby.
Sunset.
We're gonna sell that sunset, baby.
Yeah, gonna do the dang thing.
Right?
All right. Well, it's been a minute since we've done this.
Yeah.
So what's new?
Well, do you remember anything?
Michael and Michael. Did the one lady who was the most problematic but had killer fashion sense leave the show?
Christine. Yeah, she is not
Christine.
here.
Okay,
She has
cool.
left the office.
All right. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm looking at the photos. Quick note to any first-time listeners. Any photos we reference will be available either on the YouTube version of our podcast or on our Instagram, both Much Ado Some Shit. They are not crucial to the plot. They just help me know who the hell we're talking about.
Especially when there's so many fucking people.
There's a lot of people. I remember one of the ladies had a husband like on the other side of the country and they had a baby together.
Yes.
And I was like, how's that gonna work? And then we did. Apparently it just does.
Yep. So that was Maya, and she left the show to go live in Miami full time with her husband and her babies.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, not good that she left the show, but good that she's able to be with her family full time now.
Right.
It's tough when you have bebés. Like, adults can make it work, but when there's littles involved, it gets real hard.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So.
Good for her.
Anything else?
Is the soap opera star still the main person?
Yes.
The one at the front of the picture?
Yes, the brunette.
Okay.
And then
God, I don't remember these people.
thank goodness I put their names. So, where we kind of left it, the biggest issue was that Chriselle, our soap opera star main character, was dating Jason.
Right.
And then they broke up because Jason doesn't want kids.
Right.
And Chriselle is now dating G-Flip.
Whomst?
G-Flip, who is a Australian musician.
Okay, that explains the name.
Yeah. And they are often just referred to as G.
Okay. I'll accept this. Oh yeah, and then the one gal had dated Jason prior.
Yes.
The one who's like been there longest.
Yes, Mary.
Mary.
Yeah.
And has like a dog with him.
Yeah.
But is she married with a baby now?
She is married, but she has
no baby.
Yeah, no child.
Okay.
She has like a 20-year-old son.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
All right.
Well, let's get into it.
All right. What's this lady's name?
Fiona.
No, but once again, I like it. This is Nicole.
Nicole. Yeah.
So she has actually been with the agency the longest, even before Mary.
Oh, wow.
But she's been part-time and is now joining the group
Full-time crew. Gotcha.
Yeah. What's this lady's name?
Cheekbones.
Yeah, she has quite the cheekbones.
Diana.
No.
Okay.
This is Brie.
Okay.
She
Like the cheese?
with an E instead of an IE. It's just BRE.
Breh.
Okay.
Anyway.
So she is new. She has had her license since like 2017, but just kind of did selling houses around like 2021. Do you remember Nick Cannon?
Yeah.
Okay, have you heard anything about him recently?
Recently, no. I just remember, doesn't he have like 1 million kids?
Yes.
Okay.
Bree is one of his baby mamas.
What?
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. And she's
All right.
new. She's new in the
Okay.
office.
Heather's pregnant.
Yes, she is.
Holy moly, she's pregnant.
Yeah. I mean, the baby is... This was a while ago, so the baby is out and about now.
The baby is out.
Yeah.
To
Am I
anyone
wrong?
who is not looking up the pictures we used, there's this group photo, and Heather... It caught me off guard for a second because Heather's wearing a blazer, but her tummy is fully out, like no shirt or whatever, like the pregnant outie belly button just fully out there, and I was not expecting that, but she preg.
Yeah.
All right.
She's here. Because she got married last season.
Sure. I definitely know who these people are.
We haven't talked about them for multiple,
Months.
hours of sessions. Yeah.
I remember
To
the
be fair,
name
it's been a while.
Amanza, but I don't remember anything about her except for that I couldn't have guessed her name because she's the
It's a
first Amanza
Different one.
in my
Yep.
life.
Yeah. Right. So Heather got married last season. She's been around for a while. There was a whole thing with her and Christine, a while back.
Oh, that's ringing a distant bell in my mind.
Bree knew we'll talk about. Chriselle is our main bitch.
Yeah.
Chelsea was new last season.
Right.
Christine brought her on, and now she's,
Right. Okay. All
alone.
right. We're more is coming back. 'Cause
Yeah.
wasn't Christine's first person she brought to be her hench Heather, and then she was mean to Heather, and then Heather was like, nah bitch, and then she brought Chelsea and then made Chelsea uncomfortable also.
Yes.
Yay, I remembered something. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I think most of my memories center around the gal who's no longer here, so.
Fair. And it's always kind of difficult for shows to doing some restructuring when people leave. So, or if they add people, which happened to Vanderpump Rules that one season where they had like 3 new people.
Yeah.
And then 2 of them had to be fired and then the other one left. So,
Yep. Good stuff.
anyway, there's a weird new intro. That's fun.
Okay.
Yeah, I hated it. It was weird.
Okay.
So, Mary and Chriselle. So, Mary is the one who's been there the longest.
Yeah.
Other than Nicole, I guess. And Mary dated Jason.
Yeah.
So, Mary and Chriselle are kind of on the outs since Chriselle and Jason broke up.
Who would have guessed that dating coworkers could be problematic?
Right? And like your boss.
And also your boss. That's extra.
Right.
ick.
Well, and so Chriselle hasn't really been in the office since. She's been working from home. She just,
Avoiding the awkward.
yeah. There was a period of time too where Chriselle was considering leaving, just because she didn't want to be around her ex, basically.
Yeah. I guess. All considerations you should take into account before you start dating your coworker/boss.
Maybe.
Like, what happens if we break up?
Right. Seriously.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Good choices.
So Heather is pregnant. So she meets up with the new girl, Bree. And we meet Bree and all of that. When Bree comes into the office, and meets all of the girls, Chelsea is kind of grilling her a little bit. Well, Chelsea starts off and she's kind of like, don't worry if you don't sell a whole lot your first year. Like, it's really hard your first year. Like, how long have you been doing this? And Brie is like, I've had my license since 2017, but I've, been using it since 2021. And
Sure.
like, I've made a lot of money. Brie ends up asking Chelsea how much her first sale was, and she's like, oh, it was like 12 million. And Brie, who told us in a talking head that her first house was like 17 million, now ups it to 20 million when talking to Chelsea. So that's fun. Yeah.
That's not cool. Chelsea was trying to be nice.
Right? Like, yeah.
It's God, I don't like people who get caught up in the one-upsmanship bullshit.
Right. No. It's annoying and bullshit.
Yep. God.
So then we see, okay, so Emma, she was brought on, I think it was last season or maybe the season before. She had a bunch of issues with Christine and also has like her own company. Emma has a broker's open and Chrishell shows up to the broker's open. And everybody like wants her to be there, but is kind of surprised that she showed up just because like Chrishell hasn't been coming to a lot of events and stuff for a while. So,
oh, sure.
But Jason is also there.
Oh, well, yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. And Jason and Chrishell are like super weird and awkward with each other during this broker's open.
Y'all. Well, she probably should have been like going to the office to rip that Band-Aid off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be awkward and uncomfortable. So just face it head on and get that over with.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think there's pros and cons of it being done this way.
I guess.
One of the cons is that, like, Jason is pretty much just, like, staring at Chrishell this whole time.
Jason, don't be creepy.
Yeah.
Come on, Michael.
Well, he admits to being even creepier.
Oh, no.
Because he admits to, like, Instagram stalking Chrishell.
I mean... what people do with their exes on social media.
Right. Jason's dating somebody new.
Okay, well, that's probably not a great sign.
Yeah. Yep. So that's fun.
Look, as long as the stalking doesn't move to the real world. keep your creeping just to the internet, all right?
Right. So after we get some nice awkwardness from Chrishell and Jason, Brie shows up to the broker's open and doesn't like... So Chelsea has her friends there.
Okay.
Which this is like pretty normal from what I've gathered. Like, these are friends and also clients of Chelsea's. Brie doesn't like Chelsea's friends.
Okay. You don't have to.
Well, they're old co-workers of Brie's.
Oh.
And Brie thinks that Chelsea brought them just to bug Brie.
I think it probably has nothing to do with you, Brie.
Probably. Yeah.
Huh. Okay, this just triggered a memory for me of contrived coincidences.
Yeah.
Of, everybody has a fucking connection or whatever, mutual folks. Wasn't that how Emma came on? She had the same ex as what's her face or something?
Christine, yeah.
Christine, yeah. It's like this weird, like, it feels very manufactured to me. And it's all coming back. It's all coming back. Like, Chelsea's friends happen to be old co-workers of Brie's and they don't get along. You're like, really? All right.
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely kind of weird.
Anyway.
Okay, so at this broker's open, Marion, Chrishell, have a conversation. They finally talk. Like, they haven't been talking this whole time.
Well, that doesn't seem like a healthy way of handling things.
No.
Silly me,
So-
I guess.
Basically, Mary is like, I wanted to be there for Jason after the breakup because he had a harder time with it.
I don't
And
love
Chriselle
that.
is frustrated because, like, the breakup also hurt for her.
Yeah.
And she thinks Mary is acting like Jason just had, like, the worst time with it. Yeah.
Okay, triggering for me because I had a similar breakup in college where, because the guy was more openly upset about it.
Upset, yeah.
Everybody was like, "Oh, poor him," and like, "Oh, he needs more attention and everything." And because I wasn't going on about it all the time, even though I was hurting, everybody was like, "Oh, well, we gotta take care of him. You'll be fine, right?" Like,
Yeah.
I
No.
fucking guess.
Like, I'm also having a bad time too, but
Yeah,
I'll just go
but-
fuck myself.
Yeah, whatever. He's because he's always been the more dramatic one. That's fine. Whatever.
Right, yeah. And I mean, we see a talking head with Chriselle, and Chriselle is like, I mean, Chriselle, like, took her time to, like, she wasn't dating, she wasn't, like, seeing people right after she broke up with Jason. And according to Chriselle, Jason was, like, dating around, sleeping around with a bunch of people. So, I don't know.
mean, different ways of handling it. Like both of them probably had a bad time with it.
Oh, yeah.
I never like when people are like, this person's having a harder time.
A
I've
worse time.
decided because they're
Yeah.
acting this way, whereas you're acting that way. It's like you know,
Right, yeah.
People handle things in different ways, and often
Exactly.
the women are more stoic about it. So
Yeah. Well, you know, if
that's a sweeping generalization, but you know what I mean.
well, but if, you know, if women freak out about it, then, you know, they can be painted
Then
as
she's
crazy
hysterical.
and hysterical, that
Yeah.
type of thing.
Yeah.
Being emotional, making it worse than it is. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yada yada.
there's
So.
stigma in that.
There's
So,
stigma. So, yep. Anywho, don't like that. Don't
Yeah.
like that.
No.
Anyway.
But they're on, Chriselle and Mary are on better-ish terms just because they
Yeah.
talked,
Yeah,
basically.
I mean, communication is usually the key.
You know, it's good to do most
Yep.
of the time.
Yeah. Yep, pretty much.
So then we learn about Nicole apparently being there for 8 years,
That's weird.
right?
Why didn't they
Like-
ever mention her? What the hell?
So she was at Mary's wedding.
Oh, okay.
She married Marion Romaine.
That's cute.
Yeah. But, like, yeah, we've never met her. We didn't know she was a realtor.
Maybe she
like,
wasn't interested in the past.
Probably. Yeah.
Huh.
This is also when we learn that Nicole basically says that her and Chriselle will never be close because of a big situation that happened when Chriselle first came on.
Okay.
That's all we hear of at this time. Well, we will learn what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, but that's all we're given.
All right. Fun.
So then at a team meeting with everybody, Bree brings up that Chelsea brought her old coworkers as like a setup.
Okay.
And Chelsea is like, no, that's not what's happening. Like,
No.
they're my friends and my clients. Like, no.
Yeah. Like, it wasn't actually about you, Bree.
Right, yeah. It's funny and weird because Bree is just like kind of going at Chelsea, and Chelsea is like, what the fuck? No. That's not going on.
It's
Yeah.
really weird. Like,
Right?
if you bring your friends to a thing and then later somebody's like, completely unrelated, you brought them to fuck with me. What?
Right?
I brought them because what?
Right? Yeah. No,
Wow.
it's wild.
Very.
So Nicole
Uh-huh.
finally brings up why she doesn't like Chriselle.
Okay.
It's apparently because Jason put Chriselle on Nicole's listings, and Chriselle took all of the credit for it. That's what Nicole is saying.
Okay.
She's also saying that Jason said he would fire her if she said anything about it. Like if she, tried to say something about Chriselle being put on the listings.
So it sounds like she actually has an issue with Jason, and
Right.
Chriselle is just kind of there.
Yeah. Right? It's
Like,
so
if she actually took all the
frustrating.
credit for their joint listings, yeah, that's shitty. But it sounds like Jason's the problem here.
Right.
Wow. Okay.
It's always Jason.
Michael's the problem. He's the problem. It's him.
Yes. So then we see Bree showing a house to a client,
Uh-huh.
and the client tells Bree that Emma had reached out to him about selling him a house.
Okay.
So apparently this is a big, no-no.
Well,
Like-
I mean, so World of Sales. If you know that somebody else in your organization is going to be seeing a certain client, you don't call that client
Yeah.
unless you're like asked to fill in by the person who should be seeing that client. Like,
Exactly.
but also sometimes people just don't know. But then
Right.
again, that's on them. They need to know who their coworkers are seeing, because otherwise it makes the company look bad. Like,
Right,
our
yeah.
salespeople don't even know who we're selling to. Like,
Yeah. Exactly.
so not great, Emma.
The way, okay. I'm pretty sure I've talked about this before, but I do find Selling Sunset a little frustrating in terms of TV and reality TV, because they spend so much time, and I mean, maybe people like this. A lot of people will call reality TV, specifically this kind of reality TV and like housewives stuff in particular, just like rich people porn, where it's showing off the nice fancy things that cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I don't care about that, except for show me the spas that you go to, please. And so it's just like slow as hell. And we'll get like, so if this was a list of like 1, 2, 3, we're going to talk about this whole Bree and Emma thing at 3.
Okay. Oh, man. Yeah, they really drag things out, huh?
Yeah. Well, and like, I think Bree may have like spoken to Heather about it, but nothing new was said, so it wasn't worth writing something down. Like, get to the drama. They will call these houses like sexy and like hot and romantic and stuff, and I'm just like, how is a house sexy? I don't know. I
Wow,
don't
look
get
at
it.
this McMansion. Wow.
Right? I don't understand it. But
I don't get it.
I'm not a rich asshole, so there's
Yeah,
that.
there you go.
So Jason decides to leave the office for 3 weeks to go gallivant around Europe with his new girlfriend.
Okay. I mean, he's allowed to take time off.
Well, yeah.
3 weeks is lucky, but he's a boss, so
Right.
he gets
Yeah.
to do it, I guess.
Right.
To anyone not in the U.S. listening, we get maybe 2 weeks off a year.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't.
Maybe. No. I mean, you
People.
might be able to. I think I might get 2 weeks off, but
It's bad here.
I'm not paid. Like, I don't get paid time off at all if I like
Yep.
If I am off at all, like, I
Yep.
lose out on that money. Like,
Oh yeah, I had to be here a year to even get any PTO, and
Jesus.
yeah,
that's so stupid. Oh my God.
it's all bad. Anyway,
You need a
so-
new job. Anyway.
Correct.
So Jason's going to go fuck around Europe with his girlfriend and leaves Mary in charge of the office.
I feel like he's done that before.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Okay,
think
so he's going
this
on
is-
vacation. That's fine.
yeah, this is the longest he's gone.
Sure. Granted, it's a long time for a boss to be gone because ostensibly they're the boss because they're running things, but whatever.
Right? I have feelings about this. We'll
can
get
tell.
to it. Well, okay, here's the
I
thing.
can tell
When
because
are-
you're not just saying he's going on vacation.
Yeah. Well, okay. When you own a place, I'm sorry. You
Yeah.
can't ever just like let it be and leave.
Yeah.
Like you need to be a little bit available.
Yeah.
You need to be able to check your shit every
Yep.
once in a while.
Because it's your place. I completely
your
agree.
business, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
No one's going to care about it like you do because you're the owner.
exactly. Like no.
No, I completely agree. I come from small business owners, and yeah, it's like my dad. We didn't take a family vacation until I was 18.
Right, yeah.
Like, it took almost 20 years for my dad to finally be like, okay, yeah, I can take a few days off in a row.
Totally. Yeah. Well, and like I don't love that, but at the same time like it's your business.
You've
you
signed up
have
for
to be in
this.
charge. Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always exceptions, but all in all, like, yeah, business owners need to be first and foremost the ones running the business. Otherwise,
Exactly.
you can't justify making the big bucks.
Exactly. Okay, so Chelsea has a broker's open.
Okay.
At this broker's open, Bree confronts Emma about the whole her reaching out to one of Bree's clients thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Emma is like, no, that's not what happened. Like, I am friends with your client. I just knew that he was back in town. Like, I sent him some empanadas and, like, we're friends. Like, that's it. I wasn't trying to steal a sale from
Gotcha.
you, basically. Emma is actually, like, pretty offended by this, too, because she had a similar situation, but, you know, flip it, with Christine last season.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's tough.
Right. Bree leaves, like, immediately after that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Healthy.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Good and healthy.
Okay. So, Chriselle is, like, sitting outside of the house, and then Nicole comes to talk to Chriselle about her issues with Chriselle, the being put on the listing by Jason.
Mm-hmm.
And Chriselle is kind of already upset because she has heard that Nicole has been talking shit about her. And Nicole is like, this isn't professional. And Chriselle is like, well, it's not professional to bring up shit from 3 years ago.
That's a long time to hold a
Right?
grudge.
Yeah. And Chriselle says later, like, she did not know about this until now.
No, man.
Yeah. So
I'm very willing to believe that Jason is the whole problem.
fair. Yeah. So Nicole says that Chriselle has a victim mentality. And Chriselle is not happy about that and walks away from the conversation.
I mean, that's a hell of a thing to say.
Right?
I don't know if it's true or not, but that's still like saying that to somebody's face is they're probably not gonna stick around to chat after that.
Right? Yeah. Like, what were you...
What do you hope to achieve here?
Exactly. Yeah. So while that conversation is happening outside, and I mean, it's getting kind of like, you can tell it's a little heated. Chriselle isn't happy. The rest of, like, everybody's there, including, like, people's clients. Mary, Amanda, Chelsea are all, like, inside, and they're kind of like, do we do something about this? Like, what do we do? And Mary is like, they just need to, they can deal with it. Like, but also,
I mean, they're adults. They should know how to conduct themselves.
right. Mary is also like, says something along the lines of like, she does acknowledge that this isn't professional.
Yeah. It's not.
But
this is not the time or place.
yeah, but she does nothing to, you know, intervene.
They're all adults. They should know how to be.
I mean, Mary's the manager right now.
True.
So,
yeah.
we'll talk about
They
it.
could probably use a reminder like, hey, ladies, not here.
Right? Yeah. Okay, so Bree and Heather talk about Chelsea's Brokers Open. And Bree just kind of, they talk about Bree going up to Emma, and being like, hey, like, don't steal my clients. And Bree says that she wants to let them know where she stands, or let Emma know where she stands on this type of issue, basically.
I mean, I understand not wanting to get walked over as the new person, but also, like, some benefit of the doubt is probably warranted. You don't actually know these people yet, Bree.
Right, yeah.
And the world isn't all out to get you.
No.
Kind of seems like she feels like everyone's out to get her,
Yeah. Exactly.
which is exhausting to deal with.
Right. Chelsea and Heather talk about the Open. And Chelsea basically says that stuff was very accusatory. Like, Emma says that Bree was being very aggressive about it.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah. Chelsea is not trusting Bree at this point, basically.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Bree, gotta polish that chip on your shoulder a little bit.
Chill a little bit. There's times to be a bad bitch, and there's times to be a soft bitch.
Yep. Like, maybe somebody bringing their friends to a thing isn't an attack on you.
Right?
Like,
No.
maybe settle down a little bit.
No.
Oh, goodness. All right.
All right. So, Bree ends up apologizing to Chelsea and Emma for the Brokers Open at Heather's birthday
Okay.
party.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give her that. Maybe she realized.
Right? Chelsea also says that Mary needs to step it up as a manager and needs to actually manage her people.
Yeah. Gotta keep the peace and all that.
Yeah. So, Nicole complains to Mary about Chriselle and what happened at the Brokers Open. Nicole says that Chriselle attacked her on social media and called and texted her all night.
Okay. Show the receipts.
Right? We don't
Show the phone logs.
see anything.
Show the social media. Like, come on.
Right.
You can't just be throwing out accusations like that, especially after you went after her at the thing.
Right,
Nicole.
yeah. You started that.
You started that whole kit and caboodle, so
Yep.
let's see the receipts.
Yep. We don't though. So
Okay.
that's fun. Mary basically says that they need to not talk about it while Jason is gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. But all right.
Right. So after Heather's birthday dinner, a couple of the gals went out and kept the party going. Some of these include Bree and Chelsea.
Okay.
And Chelsea talks about how during this night out, Bree actually found out about one of Nick Cannon's baby mamas that she didn't know of.
Ah,
So
another one.
if Bree's baby is like baby 10, and she at this point is probably like 8 to 12 weeks postpartum, like she just gave birth.
Yeah. That's fresh.
Yeah, she finds out about baby number 11 with somebody else.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And also, that actually gives more context too to maybe her attitude.
Right.
In that she's so freshly postpartum.
Right? Yeah. Totally.
Like maybe that might have something to do with her behavior.
Yeah.
So doesn't justify it, but might lend some explanation.
Totally. Yeah.
Maybe this isn't blanket how she is, but
Right,
rather
yeah.
how she is right now.
Right. Yeah. Totally. Having, being around Bree when she finds this out, Bree kind of obviously doesn't take this super well. Like, she's obviously a little distraught by it. And Chelsea thinks that they won't be friends because they are so different and because Chelsea is a Christian.
What does that have to do with anything?
Basically, Chelsea is like kind of inserting herself into Bree's business a little bit and is concerned about Bree being an only mother. And I mean, okay, so again, let's say Bree's baby is baby 10 and now
Sure.
there's baby number 11.
There's baby 11.
So Chelsea is like, now that, I mean, splitting your time between 10 kids is a lot. Now there's 11 kids. So,
I mean, is she with Nick, or did she just have his kid?
it's very unclear. Like,
because like maybe they had a relationship and she decided to keep the baby. Like,
right? Yeah.
it's. I mean, I understand her being upset, but that doesn't mean that she and Nick are an item.
Right? Yeah.
It just like she's like, oh great, and another one.
Right. Oh,
Like,
okay. I guess it's baby number 8.
That's still
But
a lot of babies.
yeah, that's still a lot. And apparently they've been on and off.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, Chelsea, don't judge her right now. She's upset.
Yeah. Well,
Be be sympathetic at least. You can't be supportive.
right, yeah. I don't know. It's weird. And okay. So I do understand Chelsea, like, feeling sorry for Bree a little bit. Mm-hmm. Because, yeah, like, I was the child of a single mother. And,
Yeah.
like,
It's hard.
yeah, that's rough. And, I couldn't imagine if, I mean, I don't know. My dad was absent anyway, so, like, whatever. But, and I mean, again, he wasn't, like, a good father. So,
Yeah.
but, like, I know of 3 of, like, he has at least 3 children and wasn't around for any of them. So, having
Right.
8 kids, like, that's a lot to split your time between.
Yeah.
On top of working. So,
Yeah.
like, I understand Chelsea feels bad for Bree and all of that, but I feel like she's a little misplaced with it because her whole thing is she feels bad for Bree because she doesn't have a whole home.
Oh.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that.
Right.
She'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there are a lot of unconventional families out there that are perfectly happy.
Right, yeah. So this conversation, some of it is happening in the office without Bree there.
Ooh, I don't like that.
Yeah.
No.
Amanza is really uncomfortable with the conversation. And she kind of...
Yeah, it's her private business and she's not even there, and it's their workplace.
Right, yeah. And I mean, Amanza's...
Like, that's really inappropriate.
Right, yeah. Amanza's a single mother. Like...
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah. So...
Guys. the hell?
No, it's
Why are you being judgmental?
It's messed
Holy
up.
shit.
um
Yeah, that's not okay.
Amanda
Wow.
kind of shuts the conversation down. She's like, "Hey, like Bree's not really here to like talk about this, so we really
Yeah.
shouldn't be talking about it."
Right?
So Chelsea and Nicole meet. And Nicole apologizes about how she acted at Chelsea's Brokers Open. They also talk about how Mary should not be in a managerial position,
Yeah, kind of probably not.
right?
Too non-confrontational.
Yeah. Yep.
Not that being a manager is all about confrontation unless you're doing something real wrong, but you got to be able to step up and face it when something confrontational is happening in the workplace to put a stop to it.
Yeah, exactly. It's not good for any place of business.
No.
So, yeah. Yep. It's fun.
Okay.
We get a fun moment where Chelsea kind of gets jumped on by Mary over leasing numbers. Chelsea's got this $22 million house, and she's having a hard time selling it, and Chelsea's client maybe wants to lease it for like $50,000 a month, but apparently like that's really low for that type of property, and like for it being a $20 million house.
I guess.
Right? I know.
These are numbers that have stopped making sense to me, but okay.
Right? Yeah, no, same.
I'm not a rich. What can I say?
They spend like 5 minutes on this scene, and it's just a lot of like Mary's basically being like, that's really low, like that's not a good investment, and Chelsea is like, well, it's properly priced for the area, and Mary is like, well, did you check the square footage? And Chelsea is like, yeah, I did, and is like, the numbers don't lie. It's awkward. It's real weird.
Okay. Haha, I'm uncomfy.
Right? So Chelsea decides that it's time for her to pull Mary aside and talk about, like, what she expected of Mary at the Brokers Open.
Mm-hmm.
And by aside, I mean, like, so the way that their office is set up, you walk in, there's, like, a little seating area, and then right behind the seating area is everybody's desks.
Okay. So not really a private conversation.
No.
then. This definitely should have been an actually private conversation, Chelsea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oof.
It's not private at all. Like, at one point,
That's not okay.
Amanda is like, says something to add to the conversation and is like, I'm not eavesdropping. I have really good hearing. And it's like, well, I guess, but also like, yeah, no, this isn't a private conversation happening.
No. No.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Basically, Chelsea tells Mary that she expected Mary to break the fight up at the Brokers Open.
I mean, yeah.
And Mary is like, no, I'm not talking about this. This has to be dropped until Jason gets back.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's fun.
Okay.
But then Jason gets back. Like immediately after that. And basically says, so he comes into the office and has Emma immediately is like, hey, you know this listing? We lost it. And Jason is like all pissed off about it. And Emma is like, you promised that you were going to be at every showing and like all of this different stuff. And you never did that. You were off in Europe for 3 weeks.
Oof.
And he's like, well, you should have let me know when they were. And Emma is like, I did. I CC'd you on all of the emails and all of the texts. And Jason is
Ew.
like, you think out of the 500 emails I get a day, I'm going to see the 8? And it's like, well, yeah.
Yeah, actually.
And Emma is like, I own a business too. Like, I get thousands of emails every day. Like, I'm doing this work and I'm running my own business.
Yeah, don't give us that bullshit.
Right? And basically it ends at like, Jason overpromised and underdelivered.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Jason's the problem.
Yep. So, one of the projects Jason had going on before he left for Europe was these penthouses. And guess who he left in charge of those penthouses to, like, be built, basically? Mary.
Mary?
Yep.
Oh, no.
So Mary meets Jason at the penthouses, and, like, he's like, well, nothing got done in 3 weeks. Like, this has to be finished in 2 weeks, and it's not even close.
Oof.
And, like, there's this huge issue with the windows on the penthouses.
Okay.
They're, like, not approved by the HOA. And it would cost, like, $250,000 to replace the windows. But he's not gonna do that. It's all over the place.
Okay.
And Jason basically says, like, oh, I can't leave for 3 weeks without the place going to shit. And it's like, yeah, when you completely leave your business, like, yeah, shit's gonna fall apart a little bit if you don't have the right people in place. Like, duh.
Yeah.
Anyway. So at the penthouses, Mary and Jason talk about the Chrishell Nicole situation. And Mary is like, Jason, you have to deal with this. You're the one that brought Nicole on full time. Like, you're the one who did this. And Jason is like, no, I'm not. You're going to. Because I wasn't here. I don't know what happened. And Mary is like, yes, you do. You do know what happened. And it's like, he wasn't there. And you were. What?
She's panicking. She doesn't want to deal with it.
Right? Which I get, but like...
But
you have to be able to do that if you are in a managerial position. Which is why I don't want to be in a managerial position ever.
Yeah.
So Mary and Jason are talking about this, and Jason is like, you have to deal with this. You were the one that was here, and you were the one I left in charge, so you have to deal with the situation. And Mary calls him a dick.
Mary, maybe you're not cut out for this.
Right? Yeah. So that's fun.
Okay.
So, Mary brings Chrishell and Nicole into the office to talk stuff out. What she tells them is she wants Chrishell to explain her side and Nicole to explain her side. And they kind of agree, like, to not talk over each other.
That's important. Yep.
Yeah.
Let each person say their piece uninterrupted.
Yes, yeah. Chrishell, like, ends up explaining how commissions work.
Okay.
Because it was Nicole, Chrishell, and Jason on a listing. And Chrishell is like, you know, does it kind of suck that if one person doesn't do a lot of work on something, like, they get an equal amount of commission? Yeah, but that's how commissions work. Like, if... you know, if you did more showings, like, unfortunately, that means we get the same commission. That's just how it works.
Yeah.
And Nicole, like, tries to interrupt Chrishell a couple of times, and Chrishell is like, I didn't speak over you. Don't speak over me, which I love.
Yeah, don't let her do that.
Right. And then Nicole brings up that her issue, she supposes that her issue isn't necessarily with, like, so previously in the season, Nicole was like, I did so much more work on that than she did, and she's taking credit for it. But at this meeting, Nicole is basically like, my issue is that Jason put Chriselle on the listing because Jason had a crush.
So your issue is with Jason.
Right? Exactly. And Chriselle
Nicole.
is like, right? Chriselle is like, I was married at that time. Like, there was nothing happening between Jason and I.
Yeah.
Like, if he had a crush on me, I'm sorry. That's not, like, my thing. And
yeah, it's not her fault.
right? But then,
God.
so Chriselle is like, okay, so he puts me on listings. He has a crush on me. So what does it mean when he puts you on listings? And
Yeah.
Nicole is like, oh, he doesn't have a crush on me. It's because I'm a closer. He knows that I can close deals. Keep in mind, Nicole also dated Jason. Yeah.
Okay, so when other women are acknowledged, it's because they're hussies. But when she's acknowledged, it's because of her own effort. What a pick-me girl.
Right? Yeah. It's
What a pick-me.
yikes.
Wow, she's not like other girls.
Right?
Yuck.
Yeah. So they go back and forth about being professional and
Which Nicole is not being,
Right.
quite frankly.
yeah, they're like, we need to keep things professional. And Chriselle is like, you
Nicole.
didn't keep things professional because you're bringing up something from 3 years ago. And
To coworkers at work functions.
right? Yeah.
That's not okay.
No. They also talk about how, so Chriselle is like, yeah, we do need to be professional, but like, I thought we were friends. Like, I invited you to my Friendsgiving, and I don't invite everybody, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I invite people who I consider my friends, and we were fine then. You didn't tell me anything about this. And Nicole is just reiterating that they're not friends and that they'll never be close. And Mary has to butt in and be like, okay, to be fair, Nicole, like, Chriselle doesn't let just anybody into her house. Like, she sincerely thought you were friends. So Chriselle is, like, explaining some things, and Nicole is like, no, that's not true. Like, you know, what you're saying isn't right. And Chriselle says, like, I'm trying to fix this and, like, talk through it.
Oh,
And if you don't like the
gotcha.
way that I, like, go through things and talk it out, then you can leave.
Yeah, like, I'm trying to resolve this and you're not meeting me halfway.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Nicole leaves.
Okay.
She gets up and walks out of the office.
Okay. So Nicole's problem is with Jason and internalized misogyny.
Correct. That is what it seems like.
Wow. Healthy.
Yeah. And that's episodes 1 through 6.
All right.
Yeah.
What a shit show.
Right? Oh my god.
Oh. Nicole, you drama llama.
I was looking at some things, and a lot of people are saying that Nicole is, like, acting like Christine.
Yeah, that's what it brought to mind for me, too.
I can definitely see that.
They don't have Christine anymore, so they need a new drama bringer.
Yeah.
Christine had admitted in the past to being hired to be the villain.
Yeah.
So, who's next?
Right, yeah. When you
So,
lose that, yeah, you kind of have
Time to hire a new villain.
Yep. We'll see.
Uh-huh. I ain't buying it.
I know.
You can't trick me, reality television.
Like, I'm trying to think if there's any... Like, Netflix doesn't really have any other reality shows that have been...
Successful.
Yeah, and, like, there's just nothing to the same caliber as Selling Sunset.
Sure.
Like, all of their reality shows are, like, competition
Right.
based. So, you
You
know.
might not know quite how to do it
Yeah,
without
exactly.
being clumsy. Okay. Well, there it is.
Right? Yep.
All right. Well, I guess we'll be back next week with part 2.
Yep.
Will that be the whole season or?
Yeah, that'll be the whole season.
Okie dokie. Well, we'll be back then. Thanks so much, everybody, for listening. And a special shout out to our patrons, Emma.
Yes, Emma, Florence, and Meg.
Thanks so much, guys. We appreciate you. We appreciate everybody for listening. And we will see you all next week.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.